I'm a From the start, my windows got really strange. Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here. Welcome back to another live stream. And yes, today we are interviewing a couple of Space Ape employees, a couple of Space Ape community managers. And you may think, yeah, we've seen Dale around, but who's this new person here? So yes, this is Astra. So if you're in the Discord server, you may have seen her bopping about the place here and there. And basically, she's here to give Dale a hand. So don't worry, guys. Obviously, when I first heard this, it's like, what's happening to you? Where are you going? Dale's like, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. You don't need to worry.
No, I'm not gonna replace you.
She's like, oh god, no. Cool. I just need to close this down a minute and sort these cameras out. But yeah, bear with me, guys. But yeah, we'll say a few hellos, see who got in the chat. So we've got Chris Lewis in the chat, one of my members. Thanks for being a member, bud. We've got Lord Avix. We've got Nick Lang Yates, SG Soundwave, another of our members. William Wilkinson, Bricks Motion. We've got Windblade, Meta Bear, Arrow, DJ Hart. Welcome, bud. Make sure you go and check his channel out, guys. We've got Alpha Tryon. Irma Jones Anderson, Atari, my good brother from Psyops. We've got Chris Trudden. We've got Leader One, another of my Psyops buddies. We've got Grind Time, my brother from another mother, obviously. And the chat has just scrolled forwards, go back. Always does this. Who else have we got? We've got Matt Poley. I know, he says, I wasn't expecting this. Yes, it wasn't the best avatar. I'm not going to lie. It's been a crazy week. We've got Beer Money. Nice name. Everyone likes a bit of beer money. We've got Avenger Op 5, Metroplex Prime. I don't know why I'm singing everyone's name. We've got Gerrit in the chat as well, and Warpath. Risku, another of our members. Thanks for being a member. Windblade 2, thanks for being a member as well. Lero Greco, David Muniz, Mascadneys, I think. Oculta, thank you, brother. And yeah, why has Skype just done that? And everyone's... Dale, what are you doing messing up my stream? You do realise that no one can actually see you now on the screen.
Sorry, I was just testing what that button did, but that was actually putting us into like a meeting room on Skype.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've not used Skype in so long.
And now Astra's gone.
Sorry, Astra. I'm so sorry. Hello, everybody.
What are you doing to my stream, man?
I'm not going to touch any more buttons.
Well, it's a bit too late now because I'm trying to work out now how to get Astra back. Because all I've got now is a big Skype sign on my stream.
Is this better?
Sorry, all of that
We
testing. We tested this like for 30 minutes and then I do that.
Dale,
I'm so sorry.
Turn it off.
I'm sorry.
Turn it off.
I've turned it off, haven't I?
No.
It's off.
You
Is it
haven't.
not?
No.
Oh dear.
It's still on.
What, are you in the aeroplane mode thing?
Yes.
I think we actually might have to remake the call then. Because
No, you can change it on the top right. It says grid view.
Oh yes.
There's together mode, and then you can change it to grid
Take
view.
your time. Take your time, mate. It's all right. We've got all day. Thanks, Dale.
Yes.
Thanks.
No worries. Sorry, everybody. The troll is not back. I promise you. I'm going to behave today. I'm going to say some hellos while Wozza worries about the stream.
Well, I can't. It's all because you need to turn this off. I can't do anything.
Do you know on the screen you can see grid view?
Oh, you want me to do it? Oh, so you want me to sort
Yeah,
your mistake out?
you have to change
Oh,
it.
thanks,
Yeah,
Dale. Appreciated. Right, okay, yeah.
No worries.
Appreciated. There we go. But yeah, say hellos now you're trolling me for a second time. Yeah, it's fine.
Hey. I'm going to say some hellos and then Astra can say some hellos. Who we got in the chat? Let's have a look. We've got Maskinize. Sorry, I'm butchering everybody's names here. I'm so sorry. Aria Burns, hello to you. Smokey, hello to you. Aurora Ariella, hello to you. Warpath SB, hey to you. And we've got X Risku, hello to you. And SG Soundwave is spamming an emoji, I think.
That's your
Which looks
troll
like-
emoji.
Looks like me with devil horns, which
Yep.
is very cool. I like it.
I didn't even notice those were devil horns.
Yeah, that is Dale's troll
can see
emoji,
it
basically. That they made in my server. So every time I have some sort of reaction, people make an emoji out of it from my server, and they made one out of Dale with like troll level 1000 or something. But we'll talk about that again later after the previous interview. But do you want to say a few hellos, Astra, as well?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Who do I see in chat? Irma, I see Matt Poley. I see I cannot pronounce that. D Zerk? Is that how you say that? I don't know. Lero Greco, Storm Rider, Leader. Let's see. Anyone else that wants to say hi?
We've got Wolven Warlord 21. Dale is stale. Thanks for
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the
Thanks for
backup.
that. Thanks for that.
So
He's
yes,
definitely
as I said, yes, we're here to interview Dale and Astra and sort of get their view on not just the gaming aspect, but talk about the Discord server. We interviewed Dale about nearly a year ago now, I think it was, and then we had a lot of plans for Discord, and it's took it to a whole new level, and I think the games took a massive leap forward. I think a lot of that is thanks to you, and it's good we've got Astra on board now to sort of help you with these things, and it's good to have another woman in the chat as well. We had Amy back when. And Amy was like a calming influence, and I can already see you sort of got a calming influence in the chat where you just sort of come in. You're like, "It's okay, guys. You don't need to panic. I'm here." So yeah, it's good to have that calming influence.
Glad to hear
back.
that.
It's
that's
good.
the influence.
So
I have.
all you need to do now is offer cookies out, like Amy used to. She's like, "Listen, you need to calm down. Do you need a cookie?" And he just used to bring the levels right down. I don't know where she got it, but it worked. It worked though, and I'm still waiting for my cookies, but I've not got them. But yeah.
I'll make sure to bring some chocolate instead.
Knock yourself out. So, so obviously we know a bit about Dale. We know his bit of background, and let's be honest, we've heard enough of him in the Discord chat. So, let's talk to Astra for a bit. So, what's your background? I mean, we've seen the gaming share, so we presume that you're a gamer. So, what's your favorite games? How long you playing games for? What got you into Earth Wars, and why?
Okay, first things first. I think I was actually asked that as well when I was introduced to Dale, where they asked me what my favorite game was, and I did say Portal 2 at the time.
Did you lie to us? Is this where you change your mind?
No. It still is, but like, I guess to impress more people, it would probably be like Apex or something. I think that's what I've been playing this past year.
Yeah, Apex is a huge game. I've never played it personally, but I
Yeah.
just know its stature, if that makes sense. It's a huge game. So, why come to Earth Wars? Why come to Space Ape? What made you sort of, come over to Space Ape as such?
So I've actually been doing community management and moderation for a couple of years now, and especially on Discord, right? So I'm really happy that I can now work with the community. But I've been playing the game for a little bit, and I'm really, really interested in Transformers, the franchise itself, right? So when I got kind of shown that job posting, I was like, wow, is that my dream job? Obviously, probably not, but it's as good as it gets, definitely. And I'm really glad to be here.
Cool.
And there's so many nice people, so I haven't regretted it yet.
Not yet.
Maybe in a year.
Like
Dale is now. I think Dale's aged about 5 years since he's been in last year.
Really? Oh dear. Well, I actually plucked a grey hair here not long ago, so it's coming.
Oh,
Aging is
I wish
coming.
It was one. So, do you play the game Astra at all? Have you started playing the game? Have you started an account up, or?
Yeah. I probably will say I'm not, the top 10 or whatever players.
I hope not.
I do try to play daily and just, especially now with the server pass, just play a little bit, get those missions done, and yeah.
Yeah, the catch-up mechanics nowadays are a lot easier than when I came through the ranks. But anything you're finding hard in the game right now? Resources? Is it easy to get resources at your level, or?
It's okay. I'm not the biggest like strategy person, so
You were dropping fast forward. I know
Yeah.
a lot of Prime League hard mode players who used to do that.
Not anymore.
One of them sat in this call right now.
Not anymore.
I just drop in and pray.
Not anymore, trust me.
Really.
Now it's play a bit, fast forward a bit, and then go a bit more. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, like we said, we talked 10 months ago, and we had a good chat, me and yourself, Dale. And you were quite new to the game, quite new to the community, and you had a lot of plans for Discord. So have we reached all them plans yet? Have you finally reached that pinnacle of what you were aiming for? You've already done a lot, like I said, you've opened the server up, but have you got anything more to come? Any more ideas you got for the server or anything?
I think Discord-wise, I think we're quite happy. Maybe we need to perfect some things here and there, rewrite the rules a little bit, make it more clear. The announcements are a little bit messy. We've not updated them in a while. So yeah, a year on, I still think we're a little bit messy in some areas, but way better than where we were. Yeah, I think I'm not really focused much on Discord as much anymore. It's more of our internal policies, making it better for players, compensation-wise, if got any issues. Yeah, I think just background now. I'm focusing on just rewriting policies. That's the main thing.
Cool.
Make it better for our players when they're writing into support, and we're reviewing tickets now more. So if you have a bad experience with a ticket, we actually all sit and talk about a ticket. We do that every 2 weeks. We must go through about 20 to 30 tickets of players who've just not been happy and what we would have done. And then if we can step in and just make any amendments. So yeah, I think Discord, yeah, not so much, but definitely internally things are doing well for sure.
Cool. So just touch upon that as well. So you said you have meetings every 2 weeks. You said something like that, is it? So, and then meetings, I presume you talk about the game as well and the way the game's going and ideas for the game and whatever else. And
no, this one is more support based.
oh, okay.
So we literally just get 20 tickets. It's me, Kyril, and a few others. We get together. We look at a ticket, and if a player's had a bad experience, we literally tell the people who are doing the tickets, like, this is not a good job, or this is a good job, you're doing well here. We give them feedback, and yeah, we just make sure everybody's getting a good experience with tickets. So yeah, that is completely separate to a fortnight meeting with Yanis and the team, where we do talk about the game. We say what's gone well, we say what hasn't gone well, and those meetings are quite good to get feedback across, because I always tell the team what the players are thinking. So yeah, we have a ton of meetings. Yeah, they're pretty good. I'd say they're very helpful for the game for sure.
Good. I mean, obviously we talk outside the game occasionally. I think that one of my big complaints, like when you sort of took over, was, and it's been for a long while, to be fair, that the game was the team was probably too small for the game sort of size, maybe, for what it needed. So I know obviously we've got Astra on the team, but you mentioned we've got a couple of other people doing tickets as well. So the team seems to be growing quite a bit, which is obviously good.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, I'd say, 5 or 6 people on tickets now. We've got a new designer who's coming in. We've got Astra who's come in as community. We've got Fabian who's going to be able to do more bug fixes because of the new game designer coming in. We've got Yanis. We've got 2 more people in the background, behind it. 3 people actually behind him now, alongside Fabian and the game designer. And those 2 actually started doing the season pass. That was their first project, because they're quite new to gaming and code. Well, not new to coding. They come from university, and their first project was actually the battle pass, which is now the cyber pass. And they've been working on that for the past 3 months. So yeah, they're making progress. Yanis is basically giving them, little things to do on the side while he focuses on the big things. So we're going to have, quite a few things coming to the game this year. A few small things, but some big things as well, because now we've got that capability. I also think our bug fixes, which we all know is a huge problem with this new game designer coming in. Fabian can now concentrate on ability 11. We're going to have more bug fixes pushed to the game. We've got the priority lists all set up, and this is something that's just come in the pipeline for the last 2 weeks. We know it's a problem. We know we've got, because we're going down to 5-week sagas, players might see that as, oh no, you didn't fix any bug fixes in the 6-week saga. Are you going to do it in a 5-week saga? Well, thankfully, we now have that capability where we've got 2 interns, if we need their help as well, who actually not really that intern anymore, because they actually know the game. They've coded a whole cyber pass, so they're actually really good. And now, yeah, I think we're going to have quite a few things coming to the game, just because we've got that capability and we've got that many staff people on our team now.
Yeah.
It really does help. Really does help.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, I think that the frustration on our part was that, the Apes had these huge aspirations for things in the game. It was really good to hear. So when the Apes said, we're bringing out ability 11, so every month you'll get a new ability 11, we were rubbing our hands thinking, this is amazing. And when you set that bar sort of certain high, I understand that things happen, but it was nowhere near what they sort of promised. So it went from not even every other month, went to every 3 months, where I think we had like 6 batches in the space of like just over a year. So it's worked out about every 2, maybe 3 months, something like that. And that's when the community is a bit like, well, listen, these things, we can sort of see these things are being sort of left behind as such, and that's where our frustrations came, where we're like, obviously, I mean, I understand it's very time consuming, so that's where I was like, it's not that they're not working hard. I don't think that for 1 minute. It was always, well, they've got other priorities. They've got too many things to get on with. So that's why I was always saying, we need a bigger team so we can get more tasks
Yeah,
done. So, yeah.
yeah, I think it's more. We're always listening to players. I think we've got this vision where we want to do this, but then players give feedback and then they change our minds, and we're like, okay, now we need to do this, but we've already said we're going to do this, and then that gets pushed back, and then we're doing what the players want. So yeah, I think we have been a bit over ambitious, but now we've got this extra person on the team, with the new 2 people as well in the background. I'm not going to say that we're going to meet all our deadlines, but we're definitely going to be in a lot better position than we ever have been, and I'm really excited with George, who's coming on board, and just the things he's done in another game. He's been a top player in that game, Clash of Clans, obviously. And I think he's got that vision where he wants to come into this game and he really want to bring something new to the game. And I think, with that game designer taking over the bots and the combat bot design, maybe it will give Fabian a bit of a break, because maybe he got to the point where, look, I mean, Fabian's created maybe over 50 bots and combat bots in the, not combat bots because we haven't got over 50, but you know what I mean, over 50 characters in the game. He's going to get to a point where he's like, maybe I just need a bit of time to just think about more new abilities, because it got to the point where players wasn't liking new bots anyway. So I think a new person coming in and taking that, just a fresh approach will be just what we need, I think, to move forward, especially on the new bots, because they're getting very important now for the players. Especially, we're pumping out the power level of these new bots, absolutely insane. I just can't wait to see what George actually brings to them.
Yeah, well, that was the next thing I wanted to talk about really as well, is sort of looking back on the previous year, and I've made no bones about it on my stream. I've always said that I am quite critical, of you guys, but in that way, I think you guys know when you've hit it, because I think I'm quite hard to please. So if I'm pleased, you guys are like, you know what, we've actually hit it here now, because even Wozza's pleased. So I am quite critical of the game, and for me, it was always about progress. And about having something there, like I said to you, about chasing in a way. And I just felt like last year, in terms of bots, we had Chromia, who was a very good bot, even using Outpost today, can't deny that. But outside of that, it was quite lackluster, and they were just not reaching them heights. And as a playtester, I just felt we were restricted sometimes, where even the playtesters were like, we need to push these bots a bit, we need to really go at it. And I just felt like, we're just held back. That's the way I sort of felt. And I think that the last couple of bots, like you said, I really pushed boundaries. Rotor Storm and Spinister, unbelievable damage, absolutely incredible. And it's probably a good thing that you probably won't make my team, because I'm literally just got abundance of 5 stars. But I can see value for new players. So new players that will get them bots, have a good catch-up mechanic. It's good for us to be able to have these bots to use them for power level and Zen and things like that. But yeah, and then with Goldbug as well. Absolutely incredible bot, I think. Even though it was even better when we had it and we brought it back. I know you're laughing, but I still think it's an amazing bot. I really do. It was a, it was a good bot. Like I said, it was pushing them boundaries, and I'm quite pleased where in that sense where the game's gone. And in terms of wars, again, I was very critical on how easy the wars were at the top level, and we've addressed that as well. So everything I've sort of like had bones about and was a bit complaining about, it's been addressed. And that's why I feel I'm a lot more positive than what I was this time last year or midway through last year. And then with the battle pass as well, I think you guys are actually doing a lot better job and doing a lot better than we were previous year. And I think a lot of that is down to you, sort of getting that feedback that we're giving and taking it onto the apes. And I know you said they listened, but it felt to me that they listened, but it was very slow on the uptake. And I get that there's programming involved and things like that, but I do think we've really turned a corner over the next last few months. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, you've covered so much there that I'm trying to remember everything you've addressed.
Just progress in the game as such, yeah.
I mean, especially for the new bots being a little bit stronger. I mean, the difficulty has gone, maybe we did push the difficulty a bit too much in December where we had that upscale and it did upset quite a few people. But this is a good excuse to have that upscale and say, okay, now we've got this difficulty, we can now make actual 4 stars who can compete in this new difficulty. So yeah, I think it goes hand in hand. If the difficulty's going up, the 4 stars coming out now have to be able to compete at that level, and I think that's why we did it.
Yeah, I agree with the upscale difficulty. The problem was that it all came at once, but it was needed. I think that it was left for too long, and I get it's a kind of catch-up mechanic in a way, but I felt like a lot of players. The problem was that a lot of players had used that catch-up mechanic, maybe not to its full potential, but started to catch up, and then come within maybe reaching distance of catching some top players, and then it was sort of taken away from them from no fault of their own.
Yeah,
and I understand that, but it was well overdue, and I think that was a problem that that we needed to address at the time.
We left it far too long, for sure. Yeah. That's something we don't want to do again. I think we'll have regular upscales. I don't think it's going to come every 6 months. Yeah. I think it might be once a year thing where we just go, okay, this is the upscale. This is it. We push an upscale and then people take some time to get used to it. I do understand that maybe it was a little bit too much at once. I think next time we'll probably do it bit by bit. I think if we was going to learn anything from that process, it would be, okay, we want to do all this, but let's implement this, and then in 2 weeks let's implement this, and then in another 2 weeks let's implement this, just so it eases players into it a bit more rather than just go, yeah, done, all in. I think that's what we'll I'll definitely be relaying to the team for next time. It's just be a little bit more slower in that upscale. But some players were upset that they weren't reaching the heights they were, but again, we never did this upscale for players to beat in a week. It's going to take time for players to get used to them. I would still say players are probably not used to them. I wouldn't, obviously some players are still scoring 300 at the absolute top level, but they are what I would consider monster players.
Some of us,
who just don't even have a challenge. Even when we give them a challenge, there's still no challenge. But for sure, next time we will definitely try and phase it in a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna sound quite bad, but obviously I'm in playtest and I go through the effects, and I know the effects. But then Yanis came in the chat and said, "Oh, we're gonna reduce the effects from." I think he mentioned 40% HP, is it, and 30% DPS. And I was like, "That's not right. That's wrong for a start. It's not that high." And I went into the game. I was like, "Oh, it is. It is that high." I was like, "Whoa."
Wait, is he addressed? He's not touched Prime League, has he?
No, he was talking about the
Cybertron.
No, he was talking about Prime League, but he mentioned that it was 40% HP and 30% DPS in Prime League, and that's been reduced. And my first instinct was, it's not that high. It can't be that high because that sounds hard, and it's not that hard really. Sorry, but but I was shocked at how high it was. I really was, to the point where I was like, we can't go to 50% to make it just harder for the likes of myself and a few other players are at that top level. But yeah, I don't know where we go from here to make it any harder. That's the point I'm making. It's like we've made it so hard at the top level, and there's still players out there absolutely smashing it, and it's quite incredible.
Yeah, I think for the anniversary, I actually spoke to Yanis about it. I can talk about it a little bit. Is I want to try and get some bases made where we make like an easy base or a medium base and like a real, and I'm talking real hardcore, which is probably like 100% walls, like 100% HP, 80% DPS. I don't know, the healing stuff, like 25% defenses heal themselves for 20%. Something, honestly, something just to give players, like, even some bragging right. I'm not sure if there'll be any rewards for it, but I think it'll be pretty fun to bring in some anniversary bases that you can try and see if you can compete. There'll be, probably no rewards for it. See if you can do it, basically. Yeah. And we'll see who number one really is. See who the top player really is.
You think I'm daft. I see where you're going there. You're testing the water for HU18. We all know it's coming. We all know it's coming. We're not silly.
I'm not.
We're not stupid. We know it's coming. So, guys, you heard it here first, yeah? So, as soon as you see this monster base that Dale's thinking, HU18's coming. So, there you go. An exclusive on the channel, guys. Thanks, Dale.
I just want to see who would beat it, if I'm honest with you. So, yeah. Honestly, we've not even discussed HQ18. We all know it's coming. Yeah. I don't know when it's going to be coming, if I'm honest. I think Yanis mentioned it was this year. I think he said that on the stream as well.
Yeah, he did,
I
yeah.
genuinely do not know when it's coming. I think maybe the good time to drop it would be probably maybe November. I don't see
Yeah.
us doing it near December. I probably see it coming
I'm
November.
expecting
I don't
that.
see
I'm expecting it
pushing.
in about November. That's what I'm expecting, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, I think there's a few things to come before that, which we can talk about later. So yeah, obviously, we talked a bit before the stream. We said that we want to talk about events, and you know, I'd be interested to get Astra view on this because, I mean, obviously you've been in the community for a year now, and you know how the community sort of sees these events. I know how I see these events, but we have events that have like a 35k ceiling, and you know, I'm not that inclined to really complete the event. I will do whatever I want to, whatever rewards I think is sufficient. But yeah, so Astra, like, you know, where do you sort of see these events? Do you think that we should be sort of completing these events? Should we, you know, deem ourselves having to? Do you like play other games where you feel like you have to complete it, or you know?
Definitely not. No,
Not at your
I'm not
level.
gonna be the person that says you gotta play now. No, just do as much as you want is, you know, what I feel like. Just as I said with you know, on Discord with the Cyberpass, just play how you would normally play, right? Even if those events weren't on, even this if the Cyberpass wasn't on, just play how you normally would and see how far you can get with that, right? And if you wanna kind of challenge yourself a little bit, or if you want to go a little bit out of your comfort zone, you can do that. But don't bend over backwards for the game, please. Please get some sleep. Please make sure you eat enough. You know, all of that. Please.
You do realize that Leaderboard weekend, people set alarms in their sleep to get up to drop their cells every 4 hours, every 3 hours.
Yeah,
That's a true
crazy.
story as well.
Please don't.
Have you ever? Surely, you as a gamer, you must have done something ridiculous like that, like an 18-hour stint.
Yeah.
You know,
I had a couple of games where I was just waking up at like 3 or 4 a.m. just to complete some events. But honestly, I admire my sleep way more now.
Yeah.
I think I have like a more healthy.
The last time I did that
sleep.
was when New World was launching, and I was like, I'm getting up at 5 a.m. You know, we had 8 of us on Discord at 8 a.m. ready for the New World launch. It dropped at 6 a.m. and I kid you not, it was just sat in a queue. we got up at 5 a.m. to sit in a queue. We was in the queue, I kid you not, for about 7 hours. We got in, not everybody was in, so we had to wait for everybody else to get in, and then when they got in, we were like, we're just gonna go and start leveling, and then they made an announcement a few hours later. We're bringing out more servers, so then we had to start again. It was a nightmare. It was an utter nightmare.
Imagine having a
we lost
queue
about
for
4
imagine having a queue for Earth Wars. That'd be. Like we said, I've seen events where the event's supposed to start and it's not started for 5 minutes, and everyone's losing their mind. Like, I've lost 5 minutes of this event. I want 1,000 5-star shards as compensation for missing 5 minutes. Imagine if there's a queue. I'd never turn it off.
Do you know what? I honestly think that might be a good idea to keep people in the game. Is implement a queue on the game. I think that would be an amazing way to keep people in. So the next leaderboard, we'll trial that. We'll only let in 40 people, and I'll make sure it's one Prime or Arc or TF or someone around there. In fact, no, Scorch Earth needs to win a leaderboard. So every Autobot is not going in the game, and I'm going to tell the Decepticons to get in first.
I'm sorry, but you could give Scorched Earth that, and they still won't win the leaderboard.
To be fair, I still remember they had a really good run. I think it was like 3 leaderboard runs ago. They were so close to getting it. I was gutted when they didn't win it. Not that I was upset that TF won it. I think it was TF who won it. I think it was their last time they beat Scorch.
I think it was when I was there. I think. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and Scorch were really pushing it. And I just thought, wow, you know, they're doing a really good job. So yeah,
I was going to say that's the last time that I stayed up. I think we're going for first. We're like dedicated. We're going to get first, and we made that. And I've always said that in psyops, we always said that if we go for first, we go for first, and nothing else will do. And I think that's where that sort of competitive streak comes from. And the guys from psyops, I can't comment for other alliances, but we would set ourselves where we'd say, right, it's 120k commit. That's 120k for the weekend, and then if it came to it where it was close, we'd say, right, guys. It's 150k. That's what we're doing. And there wasn't an argument. There wasn't a murmur. It was like, right, Yep, because we just do what's necessary. And I remember being on till about, I think it's about midnight, and it was close. So I said, right, listen, guys, I'm gonna go to bed. I'll get some sleep. I'll be back on at 6 in the morning. And literally went away. I had about 4 or 5 hours sleep. Got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and just smashed it out again. And we've all done that as
Yeah.
gamers, like in other games as well. And they're the things you got to do in this game, sadly, to if you want to get the top spot and be the best. So yeah.
Well, I'm just reading the leaderboard. It was Judgment Day, so that was May.
Was that Chromia?
That was May time. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the schedule.
It's around
It
then.
was Judgment Day, and TF won it by 6.3 million, and Scorch was 6 million. That was close. That was really, really
300K
close.
is nothing.
Yeah, really close. I think Scorch were winning
Maybe.
for like 48 hours. I think they were ahead for a good time. But yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Scorch. I think they're doing, to even achieve that score when they've got, 3-1, is it, against Autobot players, the Decepticon players. They've got less players than anyone, and yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we talk about Decepticons, and we can't talk about Decepticons without sort of addressing the elephant in the room as such of having not enough cons in the game. And yeah, I'm a bit of a loss, but I think that one real. I mean, I understand it's Hasbro, and they don't like the idea of mixing alliances and things like that. But I think a Shattered Glass alliance is probably the best idea I've had yet that I've heard of, and it'd be good even for such a few events, something like that. I don't know if the programming's in there or possible, but I think it'd be really good for the the Decepticon community just to. And I always said that I played an old game, Transformers Legends, and the best event was where you registered for the event and you got put with some random people, and you'd find some gems in there. You'd be like, you know what, this guy's pretty good. I'm going to take him back to my alliance because this guy's actually really good. And you'd be like, come and join me because you're really good. And you get that sort of that community sort of feel as well, that you're not just always talking to the top guys in the game. You're also talking to low down players and helping them out and giving them tips, and it just works really well in that game. And I'd like something like that in this game where the top guys can interact with the lower guys and help them out and play together in some way.
Yeah, I've just checked. It was Snapdragon, so extra SKU is right. Snapdragon, but yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it is an elephant in the room. Decepticon players, there's not as many. It's definitely something I've spoken to the team about. But again, yeah, it comes down to the Hasbro. Do they want it? And even if they did, would it even be possible in our game? Unlikely, because it's been built as two factions. But yeah, I definitely think it's just a shame, really. I think I want to do more to try and get more people on that Decepticon side. For example, the new player bundle gives a little bit more if you pick Decepticon. We're really trying to push new players to be Decepticon, but people always just want to be the good guys, unfortunately.
Well, I was going to ask that next. So, Astra, you a Decepticon or an Autobot in the game?
I'm a good guy. Still put it.
There you go.
This is it.
Oh.
As soon as Astra said, she's Autobot, I was like, then I've got to go Decepticon now. I've got to close my Autobot account and go Decepticon because one of us needs to be evil.
It's definitely you.
So I'm the good cop now, right?
Good cop, bad cop.
You're the good cop, and I'm the bad cop now. So yeah, definitely. And honestly, the Decepticon bots actually look better than Autobots. Like I love the buildings. I love the bots. They're just way better.
No, you know what? I agree. I've always said this. I'm a
art is
Decepticon at heart, but sadly, like I said, I've said it in the past in my streams that when I actually started playing this game, I was a Decepticon. I started as a Decepticon because I got a message saying download this game, play this game, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be Decepticon. And I joined the game, and everyone was like, why don't you join our alliance? I was like, right. I was like, I can't find you, and I couldn't work it out. And they were like, well, and I was like, well, why are you Decepticon? I was like, I just picked Decepticon. And they're like, well, you need to be an Autobot. I was like, right, just close the account down and start an Autobot account. And that's literally how it started. We could have been Decepticons very easily. And that's why, funnily enough, if you look at my time played, I downloaded the game on New Year's Eve 2014, I think, 15, I think, something like that, I think it was. I can't remember. But if you trace my account back, it's actually New Year's Day morning when this account actually started. So although I started playing the game on New Year's Eve, this account actually started on New Year's Day. So a bit of trivia for you there, that I was a Decepticon for all of about 12 hours, and then made the dive to join my friends as an Autobot. So yeah. Wow,
I'm just going to go through the comments
Yeah,
quickly.
sure.
Type says Leaderboard is, well, he swears, so I'm not going to say that word. Event with rewards for top players and alliances only. Them top alliances do not help. They lower alliance players, and I am on the TF family. Well, all I can say to that is I always think a leaderboard is for top players. It's just a race.
Yeah.
I always think people get a little bit upset about, I finished 300th in the leaderboard. I didn't get rewards. Well, the point is we have a normal event specification, which is for people who don't rank on that leaderboard, and then those that do, obviously, they get a little bit more. It's a race after all. We don't do a lot. It's maybe once or two sagas. I think we've not had a leaderboard in a very long time. I know we've got one coming next saga, but I think the last leaderboard was October time. It was quite a bit ago. But what's that if it's one? I mean, we'd have had 2 leaderboards in 6 months. It's not a lot.
Yeah.
To cater for top players, I would say that's okay. They get one event where they can really push and push and push, and they get rewarded for it. And some of the iterations we've done on the leaderboard, maybe some of them at the top don't agree with the rewards, but the 5-star shards I think is a great they're really good. They're pretty good. And Ty has just said, Dale, that is not the point to give them less rewards. Look, it's a race.
Yeah.
I know you're saying that your alliance doesn't probably help you, but how many? I've just mentioned that we've had a leaderboard twice in 6 months. How many times has your alliance probably dropped down when it's not a leaderboard to help you? I'm probably that's way more for sure. And obviously TF has a lot of people, so I'm sure there's always people moving around and helping people, unless we do like a 1 million. Geo Camper says, Dale, it's a cash grab. It's like, okay, don't sell it otherwise. Well, look, it's got premium 5-star currency in the leaderboard. People have got to spend money if you want the 5-star shards. It's there's no way around it. We can't give them for free. People are always mentioning maybe we should give everybody in the top 100 5-star shards. If we start giving away too many 5-star shards, then we'll need to do 6-star bots, 7-star bots, 8-star bots. It's not something we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to keep.
There needs to be a premium
5-star
currency, sadly, and everyone's going to want that currency. It's very fine balance, and I'm going to say something maybe quite a bit unpopular. I think that maybe at the minute, if the battle pass stays as it is, which is that it isn't, but if we're giving these sort of 5-star shards away every single month, I think it could be quite dangerous. They're giving that many away.
Exactly.
To the point where you're going to need 6-star bots, and then you're going to have an absolute chaos of complaints.
Well,
so
I actually didn't think we were going to have 5-star shards or combat shards in the battle pass. I actually said, is this real? Because I thought what we was going to do is we're going to do 5-star shards and then do combat shards in season 2. But Hyro just put it all together. So yeah, what a pass that is. It's like $10. You can get like 1,500 5-star shards. I cannot believe it. It's an amazing deal.
Well, people got to think. So when I started the game, it was 10 crystals for $20, pretty much. That was the standard. XP was normal XP and triple. That's all it was normal and triple XP. And there was no golden lagooning. You attacked in zone 12. 13 of you were amazing, but generally zone 12, so XP was a lot lower as well. And it'd take you forever to upgrade your bots. And you've got to think that you get 1 5-star with spending probably every 3 months with spending. Now you get that free to play. So the game's come on so much in terms of giving people catch-up mechanics, in terms of 5-star shards, in terms of XP. I mean, now, if you're willing to buy an SBB with about $100, you can get a bot from 1 to 60, 162 in a few hours. Before that, it'd take you weeks to get to level 50. And the game's come a long way, and I think people sort of forget that sometimes on how much the economy has changed to give people a lot more. But there always needs to be that one thing or something that people chase, and it's a good thing that people want them things still. If it gets to a point where people don't want them, which I'll be honest with you, I think guys in the likes of PsyOps are at that stage now, where that even new 5-stars, people are like, well, I don't really need anything. Where do you go from like an average of say 295 to 300 when you're 300 most wars, and you've got your team set with 5-star combats or decent combats and 5-star bots? Where do you go from there? And I think that's the big question next for top level players. We've addressed wars are, I think, balanced right now. People are still struggling a bit. I mean, personally, I'd like it a bit harder, but I could see, some of my fellow people in PsyOps struggling a bit And so I'm fine with difficulty right now. It's not to the point where, like you said, just dropping fast forward. But you have got to think about it still. You have got to sort of take your time and make plans properly, which I'm happy about because before you just went in there, you didn't need to. So yeah, I just think there needs to be something to chase at the top end of the game next. I don't think
Yeah.
6-star bots are the issue. I think it's something around 5-star bots. I know we've got ability 11, but something else maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I know you can't say too much about it, or even if you know anything about it. But I think that needs to be other than the level 65 cap. We're probably sure level 65 cap will come in November with HU18. I'm confident of it. I hope so anyway. But between now and November, I think there still needs to be something else. But yeah, I don't know if you can comment.
Cool. I'm just gonna. I know I can't comment. I'm not going to
thought so.
comment, so I'm going to read. I'm going to read Leader's comment. Leader 1: big problem with the Leaderboard is the 4-star bot prize. The top teams don't really need it or care about it. The players who really need it come nowhere near close to it.
I agree.
I it's something I have passed on to Hyro, but now with 4-star bots being better, maybe that might change things. I'm not saying it will, but I feel like right now I'm not going to the team and saying, let's take the 4-star bot out of the top 5 and give it to the top 10. Because if that 4-star is going to be better, let's see what players think about that first, and then let's get more feedback on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I think the problem is that the likes of me, no matter what 4-star bot you bring out, I won't want it. I won't need it because I always know that.
See, this is the challenge though that George has got coming in. He needs to make something that's going to make you want to try and get it, and just even if you don't want it, it needs to do something to maybe just bring something fresh to the game, and that's just the challenge the team's got.
Well,
maybe we can bring in
the
a
only
new
way
mechanic
you
or
can do
something
that
like
really that I've thought about is by bringing 5-star bots out at the same time as 4-stars, and then the batches are all the bots that you bring out. But that's only going to last so long. Then do you then stop the batches? Because then every new release brings out a 5-star bot. Do you just bring the 5-star bot out for leaderboards? So top 5 get the 5-star bot? Because let's be honest, those guys that are reaching that top 5 are top level players. So it's a hard balance between economy and
Yeah.
I understand it's not, you can't just give 5-stars out maybe. But I also understand how much people actually spend on them leaderboards and how much time they spend and things like that. And it's not like you're giving loads of 5-stars out. It's just that one 4-star bot maybe. But that's the only solution that I can sort of come to. Because like I said, no matter what 4-star... Because the idea is that if you bring out this amazing 4-star, we'll always want a 5-star version of that. And so you'll be thinking, well, okay, fair enough. But eventually, all right, it may be a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years down the line, that bot will be a 5-star. And this 4-star that I'm going to invest in will be replaced. And that's the hard thing, you know. Yeah,
it's a challenge for sure.
And in the scale, you don't want to bring a 4-star out in leaderboards that then makes the entire 5-star batches worthless to the point where people don't want them 5-stars anymore. So it's getting that balance of them being close to them, but not overtaking them, but then not too far away.
This is why Giannis was worried about Goldbug.
Yeah, but
dangerous. So
I understand that, but here's my take on this. And I've just done a little secret that I've just completed my video with Tex about the Warriors and Gunners, so that'll be coming soon. We've done it as a video rather than a stream, but it's done. I've just got to produce it and edit it. And we talk in that about why I'm baffled. I can't even tell you why the likes of Cliff Jumper that give 40% extra damage in an area. Inferno, these sort of support bots, Sideswipe, Hound Vamp, these bots that on paper are support bots, and you think, wow, these guys do extra 40% damage of any bot you use in an area, and they're just massively underutilized and considered really poor. And so I understand what you said about Goldbug, but support bots are just seen as really, really poor unless they heal or give protection. Attack support bots are just massively underutilized. I'm trying to think now of an attack support bot that's actually considered really good. I'm sure some people in the chat are maybe give me some ideas, but I'm struggling. They're just not considered that good. And so that's where I was with Goldbug, wasn't concerned really.
Yeah, while people are just getting in suggestions, I'll just go through some comments. Brick says, what new events like instead of battles, alliance members, most complete challenges to score event points? I think that would be very good and give an advantage to lower players. No plans on that, but I really like the idea, so do get that down in Discord. GM says Cyber Pass shouldn't be the same each time. Fresh rewards per saga so people can choose to buy or not. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have new rewards every season. Not sure how we're going to beat this season, if I'm honest with you, because it is, I think people may expect or compare it to a 5-star shards and 5-star combat shards, and look, if they're not in it, we're not going to beat it. It is so good right now. I'm not saying the pass is going to get worse, but you know, we are probably not going to have these items in the next one. But I always think it's still going to be worth $10.
Yeah.
It's, you know, for $10, I'm not going to, you know, bemoan 5-star shards being there or not. Especially when the fuel cell cap is increased, you get the troop skip and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with it, me personally. What else have we got? Araburn says it won't change things, Dale. 4-star bot hasn't been a prize for a long time. Thanks for the feedback. Rescue says true, but then we don't have a chase of the 4-star later. Well, what I want to know is, would you rather we just take the 4-star out the leaderboard completely? Would you not want the 4-star at all? Would you? Is there something else what you would want rather than the 4-star?
Yeah, 5-star.
I mean, we couldn't do a 5-star for the top 5, that's for sure. But what are people expecting if that was to be replaced? What is there? I know there's some people in the top 5 though who just are collectionists who just want it anyway. I know that people have always said we should make it top 10. I have passed that on to the team, but now we're scaling up the 4-star a little bit. I don't think that will go to top 10. Matt Polly is asking, Dale, considering the content creators' stash crystals are all things Spark and Premium, shouldn't there be Titan Spark in there too? Unfortunately not. No. Because Titan Spark is quite new, and plus we don't want people to run ahead with it. It's locked behind difficulty, and that's why you can't buy any bundles or things like that to get Titan Spark. So yeah, there's no plans to put it in events or even you know, sell it to people who are ahead for sure. Taylor says, love the Cyber Pass as long as it offers 5-star shards. If the 5-star shards go away, no more Cyber Pass. Well, I'm actually surprised you say that because, you know, the false, you know, everything else, if you take out the 5, you know, I always think if we didn't include 5-star shards and the 5-star combat shards, would people purchase it for $10? I would probably say most likely. I mean, the fuel cell increase, the troop skip, everything else what's part of the battle pass, I would say is definitely worth $10. And put it this way, I've chucked more things in the bin worth $10 than a battle pass. So to have a battle pass for 5 weeks is what, $2 a week? Wow. $2 a week for something I enjoy, you know, it's like a movie. You know, you go to the cinema and spend $15 on a movie. It's finished in 2 hours. This is 5 weeks of content.
Well, 3 weeks, you mean? Maybe
3 weeks if you Wozza and he finishes it, and you know, God knows. But you know, even when you finish it, you don't lose the fuel cell increase.
I think the problem is, I think that you guys marketed it a bit wrong. I think what it should have been was, this is the Battle Pass, but to celebrate the new Battle Pass, we're going to give away something we've never given away before. We'll give you 5-star shards and 5-star combat shards as a one-off just to celebrate it. And that's sort of, I think you've set the bar so high now again.
Yeah,
people are going to expect this.
This is why I'm trying to rein people in a little bit
more. I think
more.
it's too late.
I'm trying to rein.
I think if you announce it at the start, then people, maybe even before it came out, saying, listen, this is not going to happen, but to celebrate it, we're going to do a one-time sort of thing. And that makes sense. You know, I get that. You want to pique interest and things like that. But I just think that now people are going to expect that every single time now. And I can't wait until the next Battle Pass is announced. And I spent hours in that chat trying to defend you guys because I know how much you put into it. And it's a great thing come to the game. But I'll leave that one to you next when that gets announced. I'll let you deal with that one.
Looking forward to it already.
Yeah, Adele will be like, Astra, I'm going holiday this week. There you go.
Talking about holiday, I need to book one, to be fair. It's been so long. Aaron Bird says, make the 4-star an easier achievement. Please give it a 1.5 mil. Who want to have a shot at it? Thanks for your feedback, but I really don't see us doing a 1.5 mil. We did have ideas previously to try and change the chance event to be some like leaderboard. We had this idea where we would just say, okay, let's just get rid of the chance crystals. Let's like have this rotation when we did chance event, leaderboard event, and then maybe like a point event where you just got 2.5 million, you got the 4-star. But again, I don't think the players would have liked 2.5 million being a 4-star, and I really don't think players who, like me, who don't take part in leaderboards, who's not going to get the 4-star, would have been happy to not get the chance crystals to get the bot, because that's what chance crystals do. It gives everybody a chance to get it, regardless of your level.
I get chance crystals. It's the leaderboards that I think are the big one for me. And it's never been solved. Never has. I don't think it ever will. I'll be honest with you. I think the big problem you've got right now is that the top rewards is the 4-star, which the top 5 don't need, and the people that need it and want it can't reach it. So you've got people attaining the top prize that don't want it, and people that need it, they can't get it. And that's the biggest problem that you've got to solve. And sadly, I think the only solution is lowering that prize down and increasing the top 5 prize to something else. I think that's the only solution. But after talking about it quite a lot with you guys, it just seems like, you guys aren't prepared to do that for whatever reason. And, that's your prerogative. But that's the only solution, I think, sadly.
I just don't think we can do a 5-star bot for top 5.
Maybe, I don't know, but all I know is that, the 5-star shards are decent at where they are right now. It's not too bad. Maybe not quite there, but the 4-star bot is pretty much useless for top guys. But again, the 5-star's not too bad. You can maybe increase the shards or put combat shards in there and things like that and just prop the prizes up. That 4-star bot is the main focal point that really needs to be addressed, and I think you know that yourself even. We've talked about that even when you first started, and we've talked about it ever since. And that for me is the big one, is the 4-star. It just, it does need dropping down, personally. I understand that. I think the value of 4-stars has dropped incredibly over the last year or two. With 5-star shards increasing, as the 5-star shards availability increases, the 4-stars become less valuable. That's a simple fact. And you can create, like I said, you can create the best 4-star in the world. But sadly, the top guys want that shiny 5-star. So, no matter how good it is, they will get it. But then, are you prepared to go the route of tracks again? And create another tracks? Because that's exactly, because that's the level you need to go to. You need to create a bot that's probably as good as 5-stars, and then you've got the problem of balancing it. But yeah, sort of talking about that. I mean, talk about like the previous year, get back on track again.
Sorry, I'm just going to read one more comment. GM says, next Cyberpass, Astra, book some vacation time.
At the
I
start.
have heard this since day one. Ever since I joined the Discord and was like introduced to the community, people have just told me, just book vacation time. Just say that you're sick or something. Because they don't want me to see all of the chaos.
It's the same when I joined. Everybody was like, this Cybertron chat, you're going to hate it. But
No, it
I've
was.
not seen anything that, honestly.
It's better than it was. It is a lot better.
Whatever you've said previously, I don't believe you, because it's been fine for me. Yeah, we get a few outspoken people, but it's good. I like it when it's like that. Honestly, I really do, because it gives me a different perspective of what people actually want. Or, people always, they're just part of different alliances, families. Everyone's got a different idea on how they should play the game. That's why I like it so much. I love it.
Well, let's just say I've been muted about 3 or 4 times in the past. I haven't been muted in the last year, so... Do
you know what? I was actually speaking to Astra when she joined, and she asked me how many bans or mutes do we give out, and I'm like, barely any. Like, we don't ban anybody. We don't really mute anybody. Yeah, I mean, we ban the people who are giving out free Nitro gifts to everybody.
Yeah.
But other than that, we don't ban anyone. We don't mute anyone. I would rather people have a voice.
Maybe.
But I know I don't really want to comment on the past, because I never have done, or I always say, well, I can't comment on that because it's the past, but I've heard that people would get muted for their opinions, and I just think that's crazy. I think everybody should have a voice and just tell us what you think of the game, whether it's positive or negative. And this is why I hate in gaming as well, that they call people like yourself influencers. I don't like you influencing players on what they should buy or don't buy. Like, I'd rather you go on the stream and go, yeah, don't buy it. This bot's garbage.
But that's influencing, surely, though.
it is influence, but you're telling the truth. You're not like I'm not.
Yeah.
I've never messaged you and gone right. You're gonna tell people to buy this bundle, or you're gone.
But you have messaged me and gone like, make sure you mention this tonight. Mention this on your stream.
Make sure if it's a new player bundle, it's I'm really proud of it. I go, you've got to mention this bundle. It's a great bundle. But yeah, I'd rather content creators just be honest and just tell the truth.
I massively stand by that, and I always will. And I talk about this quite freely, that I do give you guys a hard time in that playtest chat because I am brutally honest. And like I said, but you can rely that everything I say is how I actually feel. And like I said, once you know that I'm happy, you've hit that nail on the head. That I stand by what I say. If I'm not going to turn around to you guys and say one thing and then turn around to my viewers and say something different. Whatever I say in my stream to the viewers is exactly what I say to you guys in that chat. And I don't think the viewers actually realise how much stick I got to give you guys about these bots. And I'm a lot more calm in my streams.
You're always pushing.
The what?
You're always pushing them to be better. But
I am.
honestly, I would rather you do that than pushing them to be rubbish or something like that. So yeah, I know in other games, I was talking to my friend who is a content creator for another game, which I won't talk about that game because it'll be obvious. But their developers actually tell content creators, you need to tell people about this, and you need to say it's good, or you're off the program. Even if it's bad. Even if it's bad, and I'm just like, this is just crazy. Just go on. I would much rather you go on the stream and you just say, I hate the bundle, I hate it, because there's been times where I've watched your stream on a Wednesday evening, and you've complained about the bot, and it's funny because I mention it. I'll see all the chat as well. I'll see the chat go in, and everyone's saying they hate it, and I'll tell the team in the morning. I went, look. I was watching it last night. They hate it. I literally, Yanis is here. And he's like, what are the players thinking today, Dale? It's your turn. And then it's my turn. I'm like, look, they hate it. We need to do something about this bot. Playtest is going crazy. Make my job easier.
Well, but to give the viewers a bit of insight, that was when I threatened to start changing my stream time to Thursdays, because I would come on my stream and I'd say, right, this bot is awful. This is not good enough. And you'd go back and then change it. And I'm like, hang on. I've just done a video on that bot, how awful it is. Now it's half decent. And I'm telling people how bad it is. I'm like, I've got to delete the video or something. Like, I was like, right, that's it. My stream's changing to Thursdays. I did have a hissy fit over that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I've quit content creating. I've quit play-testing, and then I was back the next day.
Sorry about that, but it helps. It helps.
It helps you. It doesn't help me, but yeah.
That's one of us.
Yeah, back on track anyway. I told you this has last ages.
Back on track.
So yeah, we've obviously talked about we touched upon improvements last year. So I mean, there was a lot of improvements, but they all came sort of back end of last year. Like we said, it was very slow beginning of the year, and I get we're sort of creating Titans, things like that, and then we just seemed to have this massive influx all at once, where we had the Titans come out and the tech tree. Then straight afterwards, we had the new cores coming. Then we had the war improvements on hard mode, and then we started talking about the MDS and changing how wars are sort of how we can change base design around these effects. So it just went nothing, and bam, 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 and just seemed to come out really, really quickly, one after another. And it's good. Like I said, I like them all. There's nothing. I know that some people say that they need balancing better, maybe, and the core's a bit overpowered, maybe, in some aspects. But I think it's really good. Like I said, the Titan. Yeah,
I'll just talk you through the schedule before you go on to the Titan.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention that, because a lot of players on Discord always go, you don't read our suggestions, you don't read the feedback or bug reports or anything like that, which is, honestly, it's crazy, because I feel like because of all these changes coming to the back end of last year is because we actually launched the Discord server in March. And we actually saw what everybody wanted. We saw tons of battle passes. We saw people wanted better core drops, and a new starter bundle was coming, and people were excited for that. And we were just getting feedback from all angles, and I really do think that because of Discord opening up and the suggestion box being open, and we're seeing upvotes, it's changed our development plan completely. I mean, players may get annoyed that they post a suggestion and then nothing's read or nothing's said, but that's because it takes me 10 seconds to write a suggestion. It takes 7 months to build. The battle pass started in August.
Yeah, I understand that, but part of my
Text side
frustration was that obviously when you've got playtesters in the playtest chart and we're saying, you know, we want this in the game, that's not just our opinion. Sometimes, or most of the time, it's other people in our alliances that are saying like, yeah, they need to do this, and we'll go, like, yeah, they've got a good point there actually, and we can sort of sense
Yeah.
the feel of how things are, and we were feeding that into those chats, into the playtest chat, and whether it's a low-level player or a high-level player or whatever, and those views are still sort of, maybe being ignored in a way. And so I understand what you're saying, that you're getting these more suggestions, but those suggestions were always there. And that's why I always said that, that's why the accusations are there that, oh, Space Ape don't listen and things like that. And you guys have got better, don't get me wrong, but it was always there. I just think that maybe it's more in your face a bit now, the fact that you've got so many people doing it now rather than no select few.
Yeah.
But,
I've just seen X Rescue's comment says what Discord's been there for years. I think more on a respect of we've gone from 4,000 members and now we're at 25,000. It's gone up. It's gone crazy, and we opened it up to all players last year, which honestly was one of the biggest things I wanted to ever do for this game, was just bring it, bring it out for everybody. But more on the schedule. Yeah, it was more in our face. It was more obvious. All I've tried to do as a community manager is just give feedback to the dev team. I'm not sure what happened again previously when I was here, if that was happening, but since I've been here, all feedback goes to the team. Either they like it or hate it, and I think Yanis probably memes about me saying so much feedback, but he needs to know.
Sure.
He needs to know what players want, and he's messaged me like a week ago. He wants more feedback. He wants more, ideas on how we can improve the game and how we can change the game. And it's my job to go out there, get those opinions, and bring it to him. So yeah, I'm super excited for the game future. I've just got few comments. So Windcharger says, Dale, an idea for future battle pass item is to increase the speed of the bot that is research. This could be something that lasts until the saga. That's a nice idea. Thanks for that. Get that on Discord. Taylor says, agreed. Was the changes made over the year? Last year, 10 out of 10. TFEW has done very well. 100% can't make everyone happy, but overall you're keeping the heavy spenders in the game, and you have added lots of new players. And Ty Benton says, well, that is true, Dale, but don't really take true suggestions, or the suggestion rules is censored from searching suggestions from being seen. Honestly, no. I don't censor suggestions. I don't delete them. I don't mute people. I would rather, honestly, what's the difference to me if you posted a suggestion and people hate it? Well, it's no difference to me. There's no point me deleting it because people don't like it anyway. And if people like it, then it's even more of an idea to push it to the team. So, whether your idea is good or not, there's no reason for me to delete it. I'd rather you had a good idea, so I can take it to the team. But if you don't have a good idea, then yeah, you think of something else. But yeah, they won't get deleted for sure.
Cool.
And I can definitely confirm that every time I've woken up and I've gone to the internal channels, I've just seen Dale spam suggestions from the Discord and just be like, oh, this was suggested and this was brought up to us. And really, it's I sometimes get annoyed and I don't even have to deal with fixing it or implementing the features. So
You've got all
Sorry, I posted that at 11 o'clock yesterday, like a list of what we've had since the Cyber Pass has been launched. Like, people have been asking for like timers and maybe quests maybe quests over the weekend, and it's just things I just chuck in there, get the team knowing what you're feeling. And it's good to see that people appreciate that in the chat. I appreciate that so much as well. Now I've got Astra as well to help me over the weekend. That's a massive help. She's already had a great start. And Cool Touch says, the Prime League effects are pretty fun. The NDS were a great addition to Wars. Well, I'm glad you say that, because I actually think that's the best suggestion I've ever given to the team, is the MDS effects. Yeah, it's probably the only thing I said to the team that Yanis thought, actually, that's okay. He did it. So yeah, I'm really proud of the MDS one. I'm taking that credit for that one.
Good. Back on track again.
Back on track again. Sorry.
I keep trying to drag you in. I keep trying to drag you back.
Sorry. It's like we're fishing again, isn't it? We was fishing on Thursday when everybody was waiting for the pass. But no, I'm back in now.
So we started talking about the Titan and the tech tree, and yeah, my only criticism of that, which I think I know what you're
going
I'm gonna say already.
It's too restrictive.
It's too linear.
I want to pick it's something I have relayed back to the team. I know players just want that choice, and that's why we did think of the MDS thing. Maybe Yanis will, change his mind with it and give us more freedom with the tree, but that's not intended at the moment. I know that's what players want. Players just want that choice. That's what wars do now. Wars do give you that choice. Maybe there's something else we can do to bring in more choice. It doesn't have to always go around this tech tree. We can give you choice in other ways. The MDS is one of them.
Yeah, I understand that, but again, I just think, that was a great opportunity to, again, even make it even more, not just the defenses, but your attack as well, to make it really prioritized. So you can really choose and prioritize and go, this is what I want from my team. And it's getting to a point now where there's certain things that it's making me unlock that I don't really need and don't want to unlock. And I want that sort of freedom of being able to choose. And I understand that Yanis doesn't want to sort of make it so that the content finishes sooner than what he expected because you have a time scale and things like that. But that's where, personally, I would rather unlock things sooner, but then maybe make some things more expensive to elongate that time still. So you're still spending the same amount of points, but instead of having to unlock things that you don't really want, you're just unlocking things that you actually want. And yeah, you can look at it and go, well, that's not exactly great because then there's certain things that I'm not getting then from my team. But I just think that, again, that just creates it where everyone's personalized. Yeah, that's a big thing, for me. I don't want to be in the chat with everyone and saying, this is my team, copy this, do that, done. It should be, right, well, I've got this and I've chosen this. Why have you got that? Well, I've chosen this. Right, well, because you've chosen that, you might have to do this and maybe choose a bit of a slight direction change, I think there's a bit of a leeway in terms of teams right now, in terms of how people attack, and everyone has similar teams but different. But I think we can go a bit further, personally.
Yeah, I think because the tree's not intended to be that way, I think we're going to do it more in wars where we give you more choice. Maybe there's going to be, if I'm honest with you, I keep begging Yanis to make another MDS attachment for HQ18 because that means we can have more effects with the attachment. So yeah, I'm asking you to probably make 4 more. Just make 4 more. Give us
4 more.
Give us loads of options. Yes,
wow.
More the merrier. Just make 4 more, 10 more, 20 more. Just give us lots of choice.
That's a good idea. I like that idea that we have more attachment for the MDS. That's a great idea. But 4, even I feel sorry for Yanis. I just see it laid out where you come to Yanis and go, Yanis, it's like, oh, what is it now, Dale? What are you asking for now? The impossible.
Yes, it's pretty much like that. It is. It's pretty much like that.
Oh, days.
Some of the things I've asked, and some of them, a majority have been what players have brought up. Some of the things I've taken to him, he honestly really likes, but it's just more. It's more time. Ed, you say, why isn't Astra talking? I think she's plotting against Dale. What are you plotting over there, Astra?
I'm plotting my next vacation. Are
you checking out the schedule and seeing when we're going to have these?
Release date off. Release date off.
Titan 5-star off.
How many big chaotic events can I miss in a year?
Release of 6-star bots off.
Bricks is saying, any plans for a new medic? No plans for a new medic, but I know players want a new medic.
There should be.
I tried to get this new bot coming up, or the bot we've just had. I tried to get that as a medic, but it's not
I can say this because it's my idea. So I've passed this idea on into the idea that I had was a medic that has an attack ability. We don't have anything like that in the game. All the medics have healing abilities. And it's just something different because at the minute you've got healers and it's good, but I'd like to have that bit of extra DPS maybe. Like, not DPS because you've got bots that obviously have DPS that have healing. We haven't got any healers that can give you that bit of DPS extra, that bit of damage extra that you might need. So that's my idea. It's something we haven't got in the game, and I'm always looking for, like, again, something new, some sort of different mechanic, and it's something we haven't got. So I'd like to see that. I really would. I think it's a good idea personally, but it's.
Well, my idea for that combat bot was because it's got a rocket launcher, hasn't it? I always thought that it should rocket launch healing. Like splash onto your bots, so it prioritizes bots with lower HP, and it'll just like heal them around. But then it's got a melee, so if bots get close, it can defend itself. That was my
Or
idea for
melee.
the
I
combat.
don't know about melee. I'm not too sure about that. I'm
But,
not a big.
no, but that's the spec, isn't it? That's the spec we've been given. Because Fabian was like, it's got a rocket launcher, but it can do melee as well. I'm like, well, this is like such a weird spec already, right? I mean, what
I'm
is
not
it? Is it
gonna
a range
lie.
character
I was in
or
a
a melee
when you said
character?
any ideas to the bot, I sat there and I typed it out, and I was looking at it like, no, it doesn't suit
You
it.
can't do
Delete.
it.
Then I typed out another one. I was like, nope, delete. I was like, I just don't like companion bots. That's it. So like, no, I'm not gonna bother. I'm just not a fan of companion bots at all, other than stripes. So I was like, yeah, just don't bother. I'm not gonna go with that one. But I don't. There's not much I don't think you can do with a companion bot that's gonna please me. Sadly, just my style. I get it. Some people do like it, but yeah, unless it works in defense. But that's a conversation for another time. But yeah. But then yeah, obviously,
Back on track.
what?
Back on track.
Back on track. And then we had obviously the hard mode improvements, and I think this is a big talking point that we sort of need to address because a lot of people were sort of worked up about the hard mode improvements and thought they were maybe too hard. But my argument has always been that everyone needs somewhere to grow into and something to aspire for, and top guys didn't for that for a long, long time. But everyone else, sadly, I know people aren't going to like this comment because I know already because I've said this before in the past. Everyone else has a choice to either step up or step down. Everyone has that choice. Now we have that choice to step down if things are too hard, but we didn't have that option to go forwards and make things even harder. And I think that's where it was desperately missing, really. And I understand the frustrations of some people that the game got very hard very quickly. But people do need to be challenged, sadly.
Well, I'm really happy with Yanis because he's trusting me with the playtesters to get war effects rolling out every saga. But yeah, I really do feel for the people who have had to drop down, who have got to that point in Prime League, and who probably not the best players who have just got there, probably worked so hard to get there, and then the week after we've launched new effects, we've launched an upscale, and already like they may feel like they're a worse player than they were, and that sucks because I don't want players to feel like that. But at the same time, we did need an upscale. I know there's a lot of comments from people going, I've got 6 of my friends have left already because we've done an upscale. The problem is, I don't think, whatever path we went down, I feel like there was going to be people leaving anyway. I think it's like we've got, I'm driving a car and both are going to chuck me over the cliff. If I go left, I'm going over the cliff. If I go right, I'm going over the cliff anyway. So, there's always going to be casualties no matter where I went. If we kept it at the level that we were, I think the top players would just not want to play the game. And if we made it harder, then yeah, some of the lower players down there leave the game. Maybe there's something more we can do with Wars. I think we're still trying to get feedback on what we can do to make maybe Cybertron better, maybe make Prime League a little bit better. We're reaching out, we're setting up the Alliance Council where we're just going to get people in Prime League, give us feedback on Prime League, people in Cybertron, give us feedback on Cybertron. We don't want somebody in Cybertron saying how Prime League should be irrelevant. They don't play there. They should have no. Look, they can give feedback in it in Discord, but look, we want to listen to the people who actually play there, and it's vice versa. Prime League people like yourself shouldn't be telling people in Cybertron or even lower leagues how we should be playing the game. We should be hearing that from people actually in those leagues. So yeah, we're going to reach out to those. We're going to get all the feedback. We're going to see what we can do. I'm going to speak to Yanis when we next have our one-to-one. We're going to go through the feedback and then we're going to see what we can do. Look, it's going to be so tough to get right, but we just want to try and please everybody. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit too ambitious, me saying that. But we want to try and do something. We want to give people a challenge, but we don't want people to leave the game because it's too hard. So maybe there's some compromise we can put in there.
No, good, yeah. And then obviously we had the new cores come in, so we had we had the anti-protection cores, the FFDs already, but we obviously buffed them massively because they were quite irrelevant, really. We did have it where people were still using tracks because it didn't have enough range, and then people just destroying it anyway. So it has become a bit of a force to reckon with now, which is a good thing to see. Then we had obviously the anti-hack cores. We already had the anti-EMP cores. We had the MSM mines, which obviously were massively required. I know it caused a bit of a stir because yeah, SAC was just massively overpowered in the game. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So all these things were sort of to counter over powered techniques in the game. You know, and I think they were needed. And I think it's a good way to do that. And I know a lot of people complain at the minute about FFDs being maybe too overpowered or too apparent. But I think the problem with that is that it's because the other cores aren't readily available yet. I think that's the problem.
It's that as well, and also gold and G metal. The range is quite similar. So I think if we're going to see any changes with that, I think we'll see the G metal range and the gold G metal in range. I think there'll be a big difference. So it makes people go for the G metal, but it's not as punishing. If you don't know, well, it'll be more punishing if you have the gold.
Yeah, when Fabian sort of said that he's looking into that, and straight away I was like, whoa, we're not touching the G metal, are we? He's like, no, we're not touching the G metal. Like, that's fine.
No,
then as long as I'm not touching that G metal, I'm fine with that. Because again, we do want them overpowered. We do want them G metals at level 20 overpowered. We do. But I'm fine. Whatever you scale below that, I am fine. I understand that. And everything does need to scale. I've talked about combats in the past where the 5 stars been too valuable compared to the 4 or not valuable enough because it's not scaled. And scale is massively important. So if it is scaled, then yeah, as long as we don't touch that, you know, the pinnacle, again, you know, as I've said all along, the pinnacle should be hard. It should be monstrous. You know, when we see them G metals, it should be something to aspire for and level it right up. And that's why I said as well, where, you know, I know it's hard to program, but maybe level 15 to 20, you know, should be upscaled even more. You know, I think that level 20 G metal, I have most of mine at 17, 18. And I'm like, you know, because there's no benefit to 20.
I wasn't laughing at you, by the way. X Rescue put in the chat, Wozza threatened to quit over the
I did.
field
I always
I had to snigger a little bit on that.
I always threaten to quit when they say they're going to nerf things at my level. I don't like nerfs at all. I like counters. And I know people say, like, oh, a counter is a nerf. It's not, because it's optional. And I think that as people start getting the anti-hack cores, it brings tracks more apparent. People start using these FFDs a lot, and I'm like, fine, I've dropped tracks. It makes it so much easier for me because I don't use tracks anymore. So I haven't got to even. I look at the bases now, and I'm looking for anti-hack cores because I still use blades. And then.
But it's gonna get it's gonna get easier, right? When we bring out more cores for build bots and stuff, people are gonna have to make the decision: am I going to use anti-hack or, you know, or whatever comes out in the future?
Yeah.
There's going to be more decisions to make.
Yeah.
Like, tracks might be not good now. But when we bring out more cores and people are favouring those cores, tracks will be straight back in.
Exactly.
Tracks will be straight back in.
Exactly.
So I don't think people, you know, the players saying, oh, you know, I've wasted my investment. Yeah, you know, might not be great now, will in the future. I know Cooltad just said if they nerf Sea Spray, I'm quitting. But we know Sea Spray's strong. I'm pretty positive there won't be a nerf. But again, another counter.
Well, I'm not going to lie. We've talked about this in playtest. And for me, anything that's massively overpowered, expect a counter at some point. And I know people are like, I've talked about this as well with yourself as well, and I think people look at it differently. And rather than looking at it as the way I look at it is, I've got this bot right now, and this bot is going to earn me X amount of spark, X amount of rewards because he's massively overpowered. And then when there is a counter for that, I'm like, you know what, that bot is not as powerful anymore. He's done his job though for the last year. I'm going to move on to the next bot. That'll be my new bot. And that's just a bit of foresight that you need, looking and go, okay, if something happens to this bot, who am I going to rely on next? What's going to be my next project? Now, for me, that's Laser Optimus. That's what I'm doing right now. My next project could be Impactor. It could be Hot Rod. I'm thinking of options, maybe even Brainstorm. I'm thinking of options after that. What happens if there's something happens to Octo Punch or Sea Spray?
The thing is, you know, you have planned this way where you're doing it the right way. You've gone, okay, who am I relying on next? The problem is with the players who were upset when we did these changes, they didn't have that option. They had just stuck to this team and forgot about everybody else that existed in the game.
Yeah.
I think, definitely need some backup bots, especially now effects are changing. So if you are like a Prime League player, you need to be looking at, you know, trying to just, you know, chuck these free tokens and things you're getting from the Cyber Pass on some bots. Just be ready because like we discussed, we want to try and make walls a little bit stronger in Prime League. I'm quite surprised because I was speaking to Fabian because we actually use this iteration of war effects to actually test upping walls in general to make them better, just as baseline, just increase them as baseline. And even that we've done 50% upscaling HP, nothing. I told Fabian this. I went, you know, we're putting these walls in, and then the bots just are walking around them onto the Titan pad. You know, they just literally, you know, if you drop them on the right hand side, they're just walking around. It's like the walls don't exist.
Yeah.
So, I wish we could just lock the base. You know, so bots can't actually
you
go out.
Yeah, you should, but it's not
You
happening.
can't actually go.
Yeah.
You can't actually go out of the base. So
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, but again, people will say like, oh, maybe there's a sea spray counter coming. Oh, that's not fair and things. But what people then realise is, let's be honest, if that happens, it's probably going to be a mine or a billbot. Chances are. I know you can't comment, or I don't even think you guys have actually produced anything or such as yet. I don't really expect you to comment,
No.
but that's what I'd expect. That's what I'm thinking. It might be a mine, it might be a billbot. But then if you put it on a mine, I'll go back to using Goldfire again and sack some bases. If you put it on a billbot, that frees tracks up, that frees blades up. So
Exactly.
I've already got these bots. You know, it's not like I've got to go and chase a 5-star tracks, maybe.
No, I mean, like you said, if it's a build bot call, which honestly, there's nothing in the plans at the moment. I'm being absolutely honest to you at the moment. But if there were and it was a build bot call, then yes, players have got to make the decision, right? Am I going to defend against this bot or this bot? And that's how it, honestly, in a strategy game, that's how it should be. You know, you should have that choice to do that.
Now, Astra was laughing then, and I'm not sure if she got the reference, and you were ignoring it, or she's just laughing uncontrollably, because I was trying to hint that we might get a 5-star tracks hopefully soon, because we've got cutthroat.
No, she doesn't know.
No, I don't mean she knows, but I was trying to prompt you, and you sort of ignored it, and she was like...
No. I'm not giving anything
I know,
away.
but...
Look, I don't even know who the next 5 stars are.
No, but I've talked about this, and we know that 5-star combiners are probably coming in at some point. And you know, Yanis has already said that. And we know that cutthroat is needed for a 5-star Abominus, and we know that a 5-star cutthroat means a 5-star tracks. That's the way things work. It's a bit of foresight, but I think we can right now with these calls. I think there's no reason why we can't. You know.
Do you ever stop playing detective?
No, ever. Never.
No. Well, if it's going that way, it looks like it might happen. It looks like it might happen.
It looks
then.
like it might. It looks like it, but no confirmation. But you know, I think we will. But the big question mark for me is which 5-star combiner is going to come first. That's the big one for me. Can you even comment on that at all? Or have you got any idea?
Can't comment on that.
Do you know though? Is it already in the plans? Or you can't even... Well, yeah. Yanis has confirmed 5-star combiners pretty much, let's be honest. He said, what was his exact... I'm trying to think of his exact words. His exact words were, if you look at this batch or something and what we've released, then that'll give you a good idea whether 5-star combiners are coming or not.
I think for Yanis, I think in his defense, he was just getting annoyed. I don't know if he was getting annoyed, but it looked like he was getting annoyed because everybody was flaming, you know, like pipes and you know, being in the batch, and he's just sat there going, "They've not got it, have they? They've not got it, have they? They've not noticed." It's like, you're gonna have to say something on stream. They've not noticed. And I think it was only you who actually noticed it on your stream and mentioned it. You went, maybe he's actually going in the way where we're getting 5-star combiners. So maybe we are going that way. I mean, look, I think we probably do need it from a personal point of view. Yeah. I mean, those people who don't have a 5-star combiner, this is probably their chance if they have got the 5-star bot. So yeah, I think it would be nice to have. Nice addition to the game.
Yeah, well, I know we've got obviously 5-star Defensor and Abominus in China, so they're already there. So partly presumes it's them.
China.
Well, yeah, we love a bit of China. We love a bit of China. You know this.
We've got. You know what? We don't actually look at that. What did they bring out a month ago? Have they not done 5-star Titan parts or something? The cost of people just look at the cost and go, okay, that's going to be the cost in our game.
The way I look at it is for me, it's like a bit of a testing ground. You guys can see how that bot sits into that sort of testing ground, whether it is overpowered or not, and then go, well, actually, it's done all right there, so it could be all right here. So, and you say it's not, but how many times have we seen them 5-star bots released in China, and then they come in our batches soon afterwards? So you might not say.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
No, China actually see what we do. They're on our external server. They come and they've checked out the Titan. I'm not sure if they're going to steal that, but from the China game, it's not like we can copy and paste any of the coding. I think they've got a battle pass. You know, we just recoded our own battle pass. Well, we don't just take things from their game, and you know, we're not able to anyway.
No, but they copy 80% of the content that you create. That's pretty much what happens. But then that 20% is things that have come into this game. Like they had a battle pass first, which you created your own, but they had theirs first, and that's where I sort of started saying like, this is what we need in ours because this China one's not that good. We could do a lot better than this. And I'm not saying it was my idea by any means, but I think I was one of the first people to show that and say, why have we not got one of these? And
that was actually one of the first things I said to the team when I started. I was like, why don't we have a battle pass? One of the first things I said, no, Astra, you're laughing, but every game has a battle pass. They reward players for playing.
Yeah.
Everybody rewards players for playing. So, I think it was more of a timing issue. Less staff. Yanis wanted to do so much for the game. He was working on Titans at the time, and thankfully, that Space Ape have allowed us to hire more people that were able to bring people on to get these things done. The things that we actually want done. And we had a meeting on Thursday last week of what's coming to the game next. And, Yanis has got his wish list. And I was reading his wish list and I'm like, amazing.
I've got my wish list and I'll talk to Yanis.
You've got your wish list. Yeah, you've got your wish list. And the dialogue skip button, I don't want to give anything away, but I can't stop laughing at your comment, Extra Skew. I hope it comes, let's put it that way. I'm not giving anything away. We all want a skip button, don't we? We all want a dialogue skip button. We love the dialogue, but it just seems to come at the wrong time.
I was about to say that. I want to watch it when I want to watch it, not when I'm in the middle of a leaderboard race for first, and it just pops up, you're like, no.
Yes, exactly.
Choices.
Choices. Choices. We need to read the dialogue when we want to on our terms. So hopefully something like that comes to the game very soon.
Yeah. So obviously, we've looked at sort of like the past year, and it's sort of looking and what is coming this year. So we've touched upon again about better content, about 4 stars. I think we've got there now. If 4 stars continue the way they are, I think there's still improvement with combats though. I think combats have still got room for improvement. I think, again, we set that bar so high with the likes of Traxodon, Top Shot, Flak. I've got all those 3 in my squad now. So my squad, combats-wise, is Stripes, Rung, Spoil Sport, Flak, Top Shot, Traxodon. And they're, apart from Spoil Sport, a lot of them have been around for a year now. And a lot of the new combats just don't trump the old ones, sadly. And I think we do need to push them boundaries a bit again now and do the same for combats, what we've done for bots. And I'm not saying game breaking, but push it to the point where, we're making Yanis a bit nervous. I think that's when now I've sort of set that bar now that if we make Yanis nervous about something, we've probably hit it about right. Because, there's been a few times where we've been pushing for a bot and Fabian's come in and gone, nope, it's not happening. And it's come out to the community. And everything we sort of said on how that bot is going to be perceived has happened, And I'm hoping that Yanis and Fabian are, and even yourself, are looking at the playtesters now and going, they are a voice for the community. And if they say it's not good enough, chances are it probably isn't. And trusting us a bit more. And I'm hoping that Goldbug and Rotorstorm and Spinister and that they prove a point that it's not going to break the game. And we do. You saw in that chat that there was mixed reviews, and I think that's once you get mixed reviews, you've found the right point. Because when it was original, it was massively overpowered, and everyone was like, "This is amazing," and some people were like, "This is a bit too powerful." And I think that's where you should be like, "Right, yeah."
You got to claw it back a little bit, yeah.
But once people are like, "Well, now I'm not happy," and some are like, "No, I think it's still good," and some are like, "Well, all right," and I think that's when you've sort of hit it there. When you sort of keep people happy that it's not ridiculous. But I think that too many times we've got to that point of it being a bit too powerful like it was. And instead of just increasing the cost or doing a small change, we've totally neutered it. And I think Double Deal is a massive one for me. I love that bot. It's one of my favourite bots, one of my favourite Transformers. And we really neutered that bot. We really did. And I'm just hoping we can make some incremental changes rather than big changes and increase some combats to be better as well. We talked about HU18, obviously. We know that's coming. We know. And Yanis sort of mentioned that what we want to do is make some steady changes. And I think that's a good thing. But I talked to you about this. I think I sent a suggestion through. And you said you pass it on. That maybe we should be able to upgrade, say, 5 defenses. And then maybe in events you get a chip to upgrade, but then you have a choice what to upgrade. again, just making that choice of, well, I'm going to upgrade
Choice.
cannons, I'm going to upgrade my shock towers, I'm going to do this because that's a focal point of my attack. And I think it'd be good to give people that choice again. You know, of doing like a 5 defense upgrade, see how that settles in, bring another 5 out, see how that settles in. Some people might do mines. You don't know. Everyone's gonna be different. You know, you're giving people that choice of there's 5. I mean, I think everyone will do MDS. Let's be honest. Maybe I don't know. Maybe just don't upgrade the MDS, keep it as it is, but introduce a third MDS. I don't know. It's up to you guys to decide that. But you know, I think having those options again, everything for me is around options, which is obviously I spoke to you about. Everything should be about options and giving people a choice of how they want to do things. Can you talk anything about HQ18 at all, or?
It's tough when it'll arrive because there's no set plans for HQ18 right now. We don't know when it'll happen. I'd say it's more at the back end of the year. Yanis has also mentioned in a stream that he wants to do the war update as well. So it's what's going to come first, HQ18 or the war update?
Well, yeah. Well, can we talk anything about the war update at all? Can we mention anything about it? Or
I can only mention what Yanis has said on stream, and that's that he would like to see some improvements with wars. I've seen more internally of what's going to happen to wars, and I think it's everything. I've not over exaggerated once. When I've said to you, you know, you're going to really like this. You have really liked this. The plans for wars, I'm really excited because even I can get involved with these war changes. So I'm pushing for what he's doing. And I just can't believe Yanis, even after like 5 years of being on this game, going on to 6 years, that he comes up with these ideas to keep the game fresh. Like when we had Titans, everyone was like, "That's it, the game's over." Like I genuinely had people in my messages going, "Are we closing shop now?" you know, is the game over? And you know, the answer is no, because I knew at the time that we've got the battle pass. Now people might be thinking, "Wow, you know, they're giving away 1,500 5-star shards and combat shards. Surely they're earning one last paycheck before before the game is over." But no, there's none of that. You know, we've seen the wish list. I'm so excited. I'm really. I'm not just trying to get you excited for no reason. I'm genuinely saying that I just cannot believe that the passion the team have and the ideas they still come up with this late on in the game. I'm super excited. I can't wait.
I mean,
I just can't wait. I'm telling him every 2 weeks. I'm telling him, can we please do this? Because I need to do something with the community. That's how much I want to get involved with.
well, I think
I'm so excited.
I think that everyone likes Shattered Glass, but I think everyone still wants them G1 characters that are missing. And I understand you don't want to bring all the G1 characters out at once and just sort of like, that's it, all the G1 characters are gone. But we're, say, 7 years, 8 years in the game, and we're still missing the likes of Braun, you know, and Windcharger,
I just
all these sort of,
defend the team. I'm just going to interrupt you, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we had a Hasbro conference. It's actually my first conference in November where we spoke to Hasbro. Unfortunately, Hasbro say, you know, we want to see this in the game, we want to see this in the game, this is what we're doing at this time of the year, so maybe you can do this in the game. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, Yanis will do... So basically how it works is we have our presentation, we just say what we've added to the game, what we've done, and then they do their presentation of what they want to see in the game and when and why, and what they're doing in the comics and what they're doing in the TV series, like Beast Wars. We tried to add Beast Wars when, you know, the Netflix TV show was around and things like that. And then Yanis pitches his ideas, what he wants to see in the game, and 9 times out of 10, they're actually quite in sync, considering that they don't talk to each other for a whole year. And yeah, mostly it's down to licensing. Like a lot of players, I know playtesters especially complained about the last Shattered Glass bots were a bit late. You know, we tested it late. A lot of criticism on that because we didn't have time to test and we didn't have time to make it perfect. But the problem is when Hasbro actually messaged us 2 weeks into the new saga and go, hang on, we haven't got the licenses for these bots you're going to be using. That changes things completely. You know, 2 weeks into the saga, and we're having to change our bots. Like Goldbug should not be out now. He should have been in the summer. He should have been way in the saga. Way into the year. And it's just things like that we have to work around, and the team have to adapt and think on the feet. And there's a lot of panic in the, you know, internally. And this is why we don't announce our bots early on. If we'd announced our bots on week 1 of the saga, can you imagine? Like, I'm having to make an announcement 2 weeks later and going, hang on, Hasbro told us no. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
You know, sorry. So yeah, it's very difficult for us when we have to work with Hasbro. I mean, they're great. Don't get me wrong, they're amazing. But you know, it comes down to licensing. They try and get us licenses to use some of the bots as well, and sometimes it just doesn't pull through. So yeah, it's really tough. I hate licensing. Hate it.
is.
It's really annoying.
No, I understand though. I understand that. But Astra, have you done a bit of homework? Have you watched any Transformers episodes at all, or?
Yeah, no. I haven't watched everything.
Oh no, I don't
I'm
doubt
still
that,
catching up.
So, is there any bots that from the series that you've seen that you'd like to see in the game that are a bit of a favorite of yours?
Oh, actually, all of my favorites are in the game.
Yeah,
so I
most
can't
of the
really
decent ones are
comment
in.
on that.
It's a lot of the
Yeah,
niche
no.
ones that are missing. That I think a lot of them
Yeah.
are like for me, each Beachcomber, with the Golden Lagoon episode. Have you seen that one? Um,
Haven't yet.
yeah, it's a good episode. It's good, and it's for me, it's more about the toy. So I had that toy as a kid. It's one of the first toys I had. So obviously, I want to see that guy in the game. And that's something that that someone will chase for. Those collectionists, not just to collect 'cause you got all the bots, but because they've got a connection with it. And there is some bots like that. Like I said, so there's Beachcomber, like I said, Windcharger, Brawn. But you see, I know that it goes hand in hand with toy collections and what's coming out. But I know there was a Brawn brought out. I'm pretty sure either Brawn's coming out or he's out already. So there is some bots out there that can be, liaised with Hasbro brought out. But yeah, some fan favorites I think we need to bring out as well. But
Yeah, I agree. But again, it's Hasbro. Will Hasbro allow us, and do Hasbro have the licenses to them? Because it's crazy, really, because you think Hasbro own everything Transformers, but actually they don't. They sell the rights, and it gets really complicated. I don't want to explain it because I actually don't know myself, and I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give you the technical term of it. But yeah, it comes down to licensing, and unfortunately, we have to really work around that. We'd want nothing more than all the best bots and what everybody wants, but it has to be a bit of a compromise with our partners.
Yeah.
Just taking some questions on Discord quickly. It says something about the 4-star Titans. Not sure on the price yet. I would say save all your currency. But I think we all know the 5-star will be 5-star shards. I can't see it being anything else. I think that's one of the obvious ones. Yeah, I'm not sure what the 4-star one will be just yet.
Yeah, you can.
Am I blurry all of a sudden? Oh, let me restart. I've restarted it. There we go. Back in HD again.
What have you done?
Yeah.
You've ruined my stream again.
Have I? Have I ruined the stream again? Sorry. And somebody also wanted me to discuss the power core issue we had 3 weeks ago, which was quite a messy situation, to be fair. Am I blurry still?
No, I've sorted it now. I've sorted it. You're right. It's fixed.
Cool. Yeah. So power core situation. What do you want to know? Essentially, we had a few problems with it. It was crazy, really, because we released them on the Thursday. Everybody dropped their shaniks on it, as we know, and already I knew something was kind of wrong.
We were told it wasn't though, for a long time.
If I'm honest with you, you just know when something's wrong, right? Because
Yeah.
players are talking. I'm online, so I can actually see people in a natural environment because they don't think I'm actually watching them when I am. I'm on Facebook, and again, it's a natural environment. They're not just putting it on Discord for me to see, and people are like, silver, silver, silver. So I'm like to Hyro on the Thursday, something wrong here. We need to check it out just to have some peace of mind. So he said, okay, we'll check it out. So he checked it. Everything was good. So we did the checks on his side. It got to Friday, we're still having complaints. So I told Yanis, we need to just turn it off just to be sure, because if we do need to issue compensation, it's going to get worse over the weekend. So we took it actually out the store over that weekend. I then announced on the Monday that everything was okay, but it wasn't. We knew that it wasn't. And Yanis got involved because I went to Yanis and said, you need to just double check this.
Yeah, I dropped
And
60k.
he
got
went over
nothing.
it, and he actually saw a little bit of a mismatch. We checked all the other bundles to make sure there's no mismatch or anything's been conflicted there. Everything's okay there, thankfully. And it was because Hyro updated his Unity software a few days before, the Thursday. So what that meant is there was some mismatch and that the file didn't update or something, so it's still on the old value. So when we pushed it, it was quite confusing. Long story short, is he could see on his side that it was updated, but it wasn't because it hadn't synced to the server, so the server was showing something else. So yeah, we corrected it. We got everybody the compensation. Look, it was a lot easier for me to just say, because there's so much compensation to give out, it was probably a lot easier for me to say everything was working as intended. But that's not who we are. That's not our culture. We're quite honest players. And when something goes wrong, I'm the first to say there needs to be compensation for sure, especially something like that. You know, players trust us with drop rates. We can't get that wrong, and we can't deceive players. If it's wrong, we need to compensate, and that's what I was pushing for. And to be fair to Hyro, the first thing he said when he did notice that mismatch, he went, "Look, definitely need to do compensation. Here's what we're going to do." So yeah, Hyro even said the compensation before I do, and when Hyro says compensation,
Yeah. Yeah.
something's wrong. So yeah, we definitely solved that issue, but it was a stressful one. I'm giving you all the information I know, so I was told it was fixed. And to be fair to Hyro himself, it's not his fault. You know, he's updated his Unity. He doesn't do that all the time. It's not something that happens a lot anyway. You just do it once a year, I believe, because they do certain massive upgrades on the program. But thankfully, we got it solved. Yeah, I know it would have been easier for me to just come out and said everything was okay, but again, that's not us. We had to correct it. We had to put it right. We just had to tell the truth. And again, we do that with any bundle. If a bundle is just the wrong drops, you know, we've got to compensate.
Yeah.
I
It was good to
couldn't
see
sit
if it
here.
was.
Yeah, I couldn't sit here as a community manager and have like a developer will never ever tell me you're gonna lie to the community and you're gonna tell them after something they spent money on. A dev will never ever tell me you're gonna go out there, you're gonna post an announcement, you're gonna say it's right even though it's wrong. That's not me for sure. That was never gonna happen.
No, yeah, I agree with that. It needed to happen. Definitely agree. I actually got some decent polls from that actually, but you know, it was good to see. I'm not gonna lie, and it was important that we did that because yeah, I think I'd saved up my Shaniks for about a year and I dropped in the end about 100,000 Shaniks, and that day I dropped.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot because then you get 3 or 4,000 a week, and I think I dropped 30 in the 60. I think it was in the first instance. Was it or 30, 60k? I think it was, and he got like 2G medals and no gold at all. I was like, yeah, this is not right. And like I said, I understand drop rates. I don't like them sometimes, but I understand them. And so when you've got people like myself, you know, experienced players that really know drop rates, and they're like, yeah, this definitely ain't right. You know, there's something up.
Yeah, and I mean, I was checking Facebook online at the time, and you know, when people are talking about it in a natural environment because they think I'm not going to see it, you know, on Discord, they're just saying things because they know I'm going to read it. Whereas if it's on Facebook or Reddit or Line, chances are they think I'm not going to read it when I am. And yeah, you know, these things happen. We was definitely going to get people compensated, no doubt about that.
So we've got a couple of questions from the community before I end on a bombshell.
Oh no!
It's all right, all right.
Bombshell.
You're
He's
safe.
not told me about this, Astra, so I don't know if I should be scared or excited.
So SG Soundwave asked, will we see shattered glass combiners? Do you think? Interesting idea. I'm not too sure it's possible, but it could be a skin even. That'd be interesting.
I don't think combiners support skins at the moment. Unfortunately, can't give you a concrete answer on that one. If Hasbro told us next week we'd need to do a shattered glass combiner, most likely would come to the game, but they haven't as of yet.
So simple as that. If Hasbro say it needs to happen, it needs to happen.
I mean, Hasbro can influence where the game goes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they tell us what they want to see.
Yeah.
If they want to see it, we do it.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Another question. Grind Times asked if we're gonna rerun the 5-star event for Omega Supreme.
It's tough, isn't it? Because
yeah.
I would personally, obviously, I feel for players who don't have it, who have to spend that 25,000 5-star shards for it.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If you've got 5-star combiners coming out, people are really going to need Combiner Spark. So if you said to me, we're going to rerun the 5-star Omega event, but you've already got the part, we're going to give you a million Combiner Spark, I'd be in. Or 2 million or whatever it is, I don't know. But I'd be like, right, yeah, I need this spark for my 5-star combiners. Obviously, you'd have to do that when the 5-star combiners are released. Because we talked about in the past that, this content shouldn't be unavailable to everyone, but should definitely be a time factor. So it should be available at this point, and then over time, it becomes more available to other people. So if you did a whatever event, a 2 million point event, that's fine because they'll be getting the 5-star Omega, where I'll hopefully be pushing on to my second 5-star combiner or my third 5-star combiner eventually, and they're still getting there first. So, personally, I'd be fine with that as a top player. I wouldn't mind them getting it because their 5-star combiner still be level 20. They still need the spark, and we're getting the spark for our next 5-star combiner. So we've always got that edge. We've always got that edge on. Yeah, okay, they're getting that, but as long as we're getting something to stay ahead of the curve, then why not?
Yeah, I mean, if we'd had announced something at the time and we said, okay, we're going to rerun the event in the future, it would happen, but we haven't. People have bought it since then.
I get that, but it's just making another reward as equally as good to those that have already got it. And then if you do that, then people are going to be happy because they're like, yeah, I've already bought it, but now I'm getting whatever. But it's just working out what that reward is. It might even be 5-star shards. It might be I don't know. Maybe I don't know how you're going to work the next 5 stars. That could be really interesting. Whether it's a 5-star part to upgrade it, whether it's going to be 5-star bots. Do you need 2? Do you need 3? Do you need all 5? That's going to be the interesting sort of the interesting point of these next combiners. But can we sort of make it where you have a choice? Maybe where if you do get a 5-star part, it could be okay. You can get this 5-star part, or if you want, you could even get the Omega Supreme part, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how that works your end. But, again, you're giving people that choice, really, that they can get that Omega Supreme part, but they're going to forego the next part for the next combiner that those top players that have already bought it can get. Do you make it where it's like the Beast Wars character in the Shanix, where you've got to have the first part to get the second part? So if you've got the Omega Supreme part, you will get the 5-star Defensor part, say, or whatever it is. I'm just sort of thinking outside the box a bit, but
yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Just sort of, I do get that there might have been some people busy that weekend. Now, that's not a reason for, at the time, people were like, well, that's not fair because this weekend I'm busy. Well, sadly, that's your choice to do whatever or make that choice there. But I do understand over time there should be another opportunity. It can't be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get something, and if you miss that opportunity for whatever reason, you could never get that content.
I think it mostly comes down to we keep our word, right? We've come before then, before the release, and we've just said, look, it's going to be 15,000 shards, and then players know that we've never decreased anything previous to that. Like I'm thinking the Shanix 4-star part, like we didn't even do anything. We've not decreased the price as of yet. So I think they've just got that mentality. Okay, they're not going to change the price. I'm going to invest in this, and then if we do that a year later, they may think, damn, I shouldn't have bought that. Then what do you do for those kind of players? Then you've got to compensate a whole year of players because we're rerunning it and we've gone back on our word. So unfortunately, at this stage, we can't do it. Edge is asking when my 21st birthday is. Thank God I still look young. Thank God.
He's definitely not 21.
Thank God, Edge. Thank you so much. Hopefully I never age.
I'll guarantee this much. It's not before my 40th birthday. I'll guarantee that much.
Hopefully I never age. I got blurry
again.
Yeah,
I've gone blurry again.
What's going on with this? Sorry, I'm streaming again. There we go.
But I know how to fix it again this time. So I say that. I think I have to fix it again.
Cool, quick. What other we got? I'm excited for this bombshell. I'm super excited.
I'm gonna try.
You're excited. I'm nervous.
I'm super excited.
Just think, Astra, you're a bystander in this. You know nothing about it. You're fine. Your time will come.
Your time is coming, Astra.
I'll just sit and nod.
Your time will come next time.
I actually feel like I'm able to come on the stream now and tell you more with what's coming because I actually know. Like this time, like a year ago, things were still a little bit in motion. Like it was mostly
Yeah.
Jack who was the go-to now. So I actually can sit here and actually answer questions and tell you what's coming to the game.
Yeah, that's what we expect. We don't expect
Yeah.
you to obviously break any sort of NDAs you've got and things like that, and we'll obviously try and push for any information. But you know, you can say what you can say, and you can't, but you can. And, you know,
Yeah.
Astra's sort of a bystander bit there, but I'm sure, like you know, as you were in the last stream, you're a bit nervous on what you can say, what you can't. And I'm sure by the next stream, Astra will be like, yeah, I understand this and that, and that's happened for that reason because you know she's been here for a while and understands the game a bit more and where it's headed and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Understand
So
what's going on
you're-
in the first place.
Your time will come, Astra, and I'll be sat there just.
what can I say?
Already taking
Next
notes.
stream,
Don't pick
next
it up.
stream, you are banned from the Skype controls. Astra only, yeah? You are banned.
Oh god.
I really like the options.
I'll
though.
study.
Okay, so we'll start slowly on this. So, obviously, like you said, I'm a bit of a detective, and I like to look forward in the game and see what's coming. So my first thing was looking at the shattered glass wallpaper. I was like, oh, so right, we've got Soundwave coming, shattered glass Soundwave, and I magnified it up, and I was like, who's that guy? I was like, oh, that's shattered glass Wheeljack. And then obviously we've had a healer come to the game, which was Soundwave, who's not a healer. So I was like, oh, well, Wheeljack probably won't be a healer, and it could be anything. I was looking through, and then I was like, hang on a minute. There's something I've missed there. And it was this guy.
Are you showing some on stream? Because I need
Yeah.
to just tune in quickly. 1 second. Keep it there.
It was this guy.
You're not even watching the stream.
Not the little guy. Not the medium guy. Not the big guy. This huge guy in the background. That even I was surprised that I'd missed.
Are
And
you showing
then
something on stream? I don't see anything on stream. at the
I'm
moment.
looking at what seems to be Unicron. Now, back a year ago, I'd have said, not a chance. It's far too big. I said that about Titans, and Titans are in the game. And then when I hear things in the game of a different Cybertron, now for those that don't know the lore, Cybertron is actually Primus. Unicron is Primus's brother, who is obviously a planet killer. Will we see Unicron come into the game this year? You keep saying
It's
about how
It's too big. How are we going to get it on a mobile? He's too big.
I said that about Titans.
He's
said
too
that.
big.
I don't know.
Impossible.
Well,
Impossible.
I'd have said Titans
Too
are
big.
impossible. I really
He's
would have said
too
that. But yeah, I'm
How are we
hoping.
going to fit him on a screen?
What
Have you
does-
seen how? This is how big my phone is. He's not going to fit on me.
It
I
doesn't-
need an iPad.
Well, I know that people have been asking for skins for the bases for a while. It could be even just something simple as a different skin that changes the way defenses work for HU18. Could be something as simple as that.
Put it
Again,
this way: if he does come to the game, then it's just an iPad game after that. We're gonna have to ban like mobiles. So if you haven't got a tablet, you might not be able to play the game anymore.
so you heard it here first, guys. Unicron's coming to the game. You better go and buy a tablet. You heard it here, exclusive. Go and buy a tablet. It's the tablets only.
Honestly, I don't know how we'd fit him on a screen. How are we going to get him on a mobile? We just had to.
Well,
If he does come to the game, we just have to ban people with mobiles from playing that game mode.
well, I'm 90% right. I am 10% wrong. I did say Headmasters will come to the game. I said that, you know, there will be a Beast Wars combiner. We've got a Beast Wars combiner. I said that we'll have some new cores coming. We've got some new cores coming. You know, I even said I would like some sort of defense that you can change. We had the MDS come out, and then we've even got wars surrounding the MDS, changing even war effects. So all these sort of things that I predicted should or could come, that's my prediction for this year. My prediction
Well,
is we will see Unicron in this game.
Does
That's
the
the
chat agree
bombshell.
with that? Does
What do you guys think?
Yeah, does everybody think that we can get Unicron into the game? Because I just think he's too big. It's never going to happen.
I think so.
We're gonna sell iPads, right? And then
Sell
tablet.
brand iPad,
That's the angle. That's the angle. We're going to bring Unicron to the
Air
game, but
Force.
you've got to buy a space-safe iPad.
iPad.
Forget bundles.
We could even like make a program where we get your old phones and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
trade 'em in.
Yeah, we'll get your old phones.
Sell tablets.
We'll sell. Yeah, you trade in your phone. You buy the iPad. We'll sell your phone. Sell the iPad. Wow, what an idea! We need to go into business, Astra.
The only thing, and someone sort of touched upon it in the chat, that it wasn't an official Hasbro release. The toy, I think it was a third-party release from someone else. So that sort of swings me the other way to think, I don't know.
Licenses.
Yeah, yeah.
Licenses again.
But I just think I don't think I've ever seen Unicron in a wallpaper before. I'll go out on a limb and say that. So why would you put him there? You didn't have to put him there. That could have been a perfectly plain background. It didn't have to go in there.
It didn't have to go there at all.
No, it didn't.
But I think it gets people like you. It throws you off because you think he's coming, but he's not.
And it doesn't. I go, right, I'm quitting. I'm not Unicron. That's it. I'm done. I quit. If you don't bring Unicron, I'm done. That's the next thing going to be in the chat this week. So yeah. But yeah, hey, you never know with this game. I mean, like I said, we would never have said we'd have an MDS 2 years ago. We would never have said a Ability 11, Titans, Tech Tree, all these things. So, 2 years ago, I'd have never said Unicron. It's far too big. Exactly what you're saying. But this is now. This is not 2 years ago. And so, we would never have a battle pass. There's so many things that I would have said never to.
But this is what the team has done. It's made players believe these things can happen. This is honestly, this is what the team have done.
Yeah.
You now believe. It's like Santa Claus, isn't it? They're making you believe again. You believe in Santa again.
Just to disappoint later.
And just to touch on something here as well. So Matt Polis put Space Ape tablets available for 1 million 5-star shards. But if you'd have said that, I'd expect Hyrule to come in and go, nope, it's 5 million.
5 million, yeah.
After the last stream, which was quite amusing, if you didn't see that, where Dale tried trolling me saying it was what? It'd be 2,000 5-star shards or something you said for the 5-star part?
No, I think I said, didn't I say 10? It'll be 10,000.
Oh, that was it.
No,
something. 5,000.
Was it 20,000 or something? I can't remember the exact number now, but it was, I think it was 15,000. We all just joked, and then, a week later, Hyro tells me it's 15,000.
No, you said 5,000, and I looked shocked, as if to say, that's ridiculous. And then Hyro said, nope, it's going to be 15,000.
No, it was 10,000. I said 10,000.
I don't even think it was that. I'm going to go back and watch it. I don't think you even think it was 10,000.
You literally said, what, really? 2 5-star bots? I was like, yes,
Maybe.
Sorry, guys. And then I was like, Joe, I'm joking. Hyro's not told me
it
that
would never be that high. No way will it be that high. Hyro comes in with his 15,000.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah. That's it pretty much, like I said. But I just want to say a massive thank you, obviously, for you guys for coming in. It's been a great sort of speech.
Sorry,
and,
Cliff. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Clifton's got it. I said 50k. I did remember because we announced it as 50k originally. We actually announced 50k originally, and I kid you not, we probably had a meeting at the time, and Yanis was like, "What?"
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. Hyro's actual amount was more than what you said in stream. I'm pretty confident.
No,
I'm gonna go back after the stream and look. I am.
I honestly, we announced it originally on Discord. We was like, the 5-star shard, the 5-star shard price is 50k. We honestly announced that publicly, and everyone was like, "What?"
Well, I don't want to open it because it's gonna start interfering with my camera. But it's actually a meme. With the amount on it in my Discord, which I can go and look for. So we'll look after this. But so like I said, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. But don't forget, guys, the only way that you can watch all these sort of streams, my Wednesday streams, and keep up to date and never miss another one is just subscribe. We're just short of 4K subs. We're trying to hit that target. So if you're not subscribed already, guys, only half the people that watch my channel are subscribed. So hit that subscribe button, guys. And if you'd like this interview, hit me a like. And don't forget, we'll probably do another one of these in a while when we had some more releases and we can look back. And hopefully Astra will join us again and we'll have a bit more of an influence on the chat as well.
We'll settle that score. We'll settle the number.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And peace out, guys.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Bye.